Gone. Board games, words games, it's what we're talking about. All sorts of games, I'm not gonna shout. I am starting off this streaming with a little bit of singing, and today is not quite yet a catastrophe. I will say that there's some problems of technicality in that the camera isn't working as I would like, but this is the way that we're going to carry on tonight. I mean, it's night time somewhere. You can always see. Yeah. And over here, it's Sarah from Burgo Games. Sarah and Bez. Those are our names. We will hopefully have a bit of a banter and a laugh, and we will play games if we're lucky enough. Board games and all sorts of games is what we're talking about. Board games, I'm not gonna shout. Hey. Good afternoon, good morning for you, Sarah. Good evening for some people. Good whatever it is, wherever you are, and I hope that you're generally very well. Sarah, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing generally well. It's the afternoon for me. It's 4 p.m. here, but I'm doing well.
Oh, that's true.
Been doing a bunch of work for a game about wee whimsical creatures and trying to identify them and make noises. So I've been doing all the public voting of do we want this or do we want that? And I've actually got to announce yesterday's winner and put it up today. I'm a wee bit behind with that. But every day there, at the start, we had, okay, here's the 80 creatures. Which ones are your favorites? And then people voted. And then and it took me like a couple of hours, but I put it all into a spreadsheet, all the different that people were voting for. And then it was like, okay, these are the favorites. And then things that have at least 4 votes, those are clear. Those are going to stay in the game. Anything, and it was really interesting to see there was a definite number one. Like there was only 1 vote in it, but it's kind of that, that kind of charts where like there's a few that are really loved and they go, oh.
Yeah, and, very logarithmic.
A long tail of, a bunch of people kind of like this, and then a few at the end that no one even voted for. Aww. So there's, at the end it was like, okay, get all the things that had too few votes and get them to face off one against each other and see.
I've been voting.
And I appreciate it. Have you been happy with the results so far?
I think there's only been one that I voted for the loser on.
And I hope that, with things like this, there's always the worry of, oh my gosh, if people vote for the thing that doesn't happen, then they're going to get a wee bit upset. But
so how many are you going to end up with? Like you started with 80 and you're trying to pare it down to how many? 50?
So 50? It's going to be 64.
64, okay.
But then there's going to be 16 new ones. So there will still be...
Oh.
So it's still going to be 80. It's going to be exactly the same number. It's just going to... Because, look, it's basically... The truth is, and I'm saying this as if I would deny it if people ask, but the fundamental truth of the matter is that I wanted to do the Kickstarter because... It's easy. Oh, there's something there's an animal from next door sniffing.
Oh,
wee pet. But
hi, Flo. Hi, James.
Oh, hello, Flo. How are you? Thank you for jumping in, and hello, James. I hope you are both doing fabulously. We're just chatting about stuff, and I was chatting about. Whoops. There is a bit of a divot in the middle of the table, which is Like, that's okay. There, I sorted this out. It's a bit.
All right, good.
But, yeah, the reason that I'm changing some of the creatures is because I want to use Kickstarter, because Kickstarter means that I know how many to print. And if it's print on demand, sure, 50 was a good number to go to a convention. Now, how many do people want? And so I am kind of one of those evil people who uses Kickstarter as a pre-ordering thing, because this is actually going to be the first time where it's like, yeah, the art is actually the second time, because the first time was with the second edition of the ELL deck. But art is basically all done, 64 out of 80, whatever percentage that is, and then the remainder I'm going to do the following week, like in the first couple of days. But I want to be able to know how many of these should I make. And yeah, thanks, James. Thanks for that, validation. Because the thing is, I'm not at the stage where I can, and like, I want to say, yeah, if people want this as a £1 thing, I am kind of using a Kickstarter as a marketing thing and saying, yeah, I just for these 3 days that the Kickstarter is running for, it is going to be £1 for the print and play, because I want to get a buzz around it. And if you back it afterwards, like if you come in on Sunday and then say, hey, I want this, it'll be like, oh, I'm not really, well, you've just missed it and it's going to cost £2.50. I mean, don't, like, we've been talking about it for a while, and yeah, it makes life easier for me as this is how many I print, this is how many I sell, and having a project and then you ship it, as opposed to here's a whole bunch and then you print it, and every few weeks maybe I get one order every other week, and then that's going to be an ongoing thing. This just makes it viable, frankly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep, I do.
It's not like it's not like I need the money. Like the price is going to be 150 quid. And frankly, I was only able to get one night, but I was ready to spend that amount of money to go away for this weekend. And I ended up only having the one night, but I've spent, almost £100 to go away, to go to this convention, to have a night, to kind of have the travel. And it's not like 150 quid is going to cripple me financially. I'm not in that sort of dire financial situation, thank goodness. But if I don't get that many people, then honestly, like if I got 140 quid, I'd be like, yeah, it's clearly not worth it. Something's wrong with the project. I'm not going to print that many. Because if I can't even get 30 people to back this, then why should I be printing 50 copies for the general? And you get what I mean. And it's kind of a weird situation where this is the first time I've done something where it's not mass produced. And yeah, James says, it makes it easier for people to get it if it is not easily available through worldwide distribution. And the weird thing there is that for ages, like just now, Kitty Cataclysm and the physical edition of the ELL deck, you can still get them print and play, but they are basically sold out physically. But for ages, I was selling them on my website, and people could buy them before the pandemic for I was subsidizing so much of that cost for international shipping back when I used to be able to afford to. And people still weren't buying it because it doesn't put it in people's awareness. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And the sad thing is that, yeah, we do need this kind of marketing thing. And I don't want to be like, oh, if you don't get it, you're going to miss it. Look, I will have extra copies. And if people miss it, they will still be able to buy the thing at pretty much the same price after the time. You'll probably be able to get it after all the Kickstarter things have been shipped out. But I would very much encourage everyone to back the Kickstarter, because obviously, yes, Kickstarter keeps a tiny bit more money than Big Cartel does, but I would far rather people go through that and then it becomes a big thing, and then got the audience, and it becomes a self-propagating thing.
Right. And that's my plan as well for one of the games that I'm working on right now. I'm hoping to get on Kickstarter later this fall, kind of for that very reason. Like, I don't need to make a lot of money on that game. It's going to be a little journaling, card-based tabletop RPG. And while I still think we need a Kickstarter that is for kickstarting projects, I get that it has changed into something else for game publishers. And somebody like me who hasn't published a game yet, I need a way to use it as a marketing tool. And that's the way, that seems to be the right way to do it. The right way to do it is to do something like you're talking about. Like, I've watched Gian Shim and other people do that, where they do something really small. They offer, anybody can get the print and play for almost nothing, and then they put a very small dollar amount or a very small pound amount, and they reach that goal, and they get so much good publicity out of it.
So James asks, do you have a sign up for newsletter updates?
Yeah, that's a good question, James. My entire website went down. I'm in the process of rebuilding it. In fact, that's what I'm going to be doing as soon as we get off the stream, is getting all of my free games back up on.
Oh my gosh, I think that this time it was. Oh, maybe my internet is also at fault here.
I'm still here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you again.
Both now. Okay. Anyway, I'm trying to get all my free games up this morning. I have a ton of free games. And so, James, the next thing I will do after the free games go up is I will, the second thing after the free games go up is I have to get my email working again. And as soon as I do that, we'll put my website up at the end here at some point. I will get my newsletter sign up back up and working again. So hopefully that will be by no later than tomorrow.
So where should people go? I mean, people can see your Twitter just here, but if people want to check you out and keep an eye on your stuff, where should people really be going?
I am the most active on Twitter. I am on Twitter every day. I post a lot. I talk a lot about games. I talk to other gaming people, and I like to stay in touch with the game community there. The website will hopefully be a good place for that. I paid for 3 years of hosting this time so that I didn't screw up and lose my time. So here's what I did. I knew I was going to switch hosts. I knew it was coming. I backed up my website. I forgot to download the backup. So when the old website got deleted, I didn't have the backup to move to the new website. So my entire website got deleted. It's fine. It's fine. It's all going to work out. It was just one of those, like, I need an assistant.
Or something, or not?
Huh?
Did you have those files locally on your computer or not?
No, I have all the files. I have all the individual files, but it was a WordPress site, and so it was kind of like blog based. And so all of that stuff, actually, most of it is on the Wayback Machine. So I've been just kind of going back and forth looking at what I can salvage from Wayback, but I'm just going to kind of design something from scratch. So it'll be new and improved.
I'm going to share a couple of my own links here. So firstly, if people want to check out the Kickstarter for a game about wee whimsical creatures and trying to identify them after someone makes noises, then please click and follow, because it will be a short campaign. I think it's going to be about 3 days, 10 hours. So it goes live on Tuesday morning UK time, which is earlier Tuesday morning US time, or Tuesday evening Australian time next week. And then on Friday evening UK time, which is Friday afternoon US time, or Saturday morning Australian time, then it will stop. It's basically finishing. And yeah, like you said, the reason that the print and play is going to be £1 is because I just feel like it's £1. Like, if you heard any people saying anything nice about it and you're like, oh, this sounds like fun, then just why not?
Yeah.
hopefully people want to try it. So I was I was trying to get this camera working, and I will see again if I can get the stand to work or if it's all going to collapse. But Sarah, I can't remember if we went live. We'd gone live already when I talked about our apples.
You had no. We talked about that the very very first thing.
Okay, well,
before we were live.
In this garden, there have been at least 7 apples dropped to the ground since last night. And these are really nice apples. I've eaten 3 of them so far, and they've been pretty gosh darn good. I
Hi.
enjoyed them, and how to share these apples with. Oh, I'm sorry, my internet seems to be at 1 bar, so fingers crossed it'll not be too terrible. But then the question becomes, Sarah and everybody watching, what is your favorite fruit, and what do you like to eat whilst playing board games?
I like really good ripe peaches off the tree. Like, I've never found a good peach in a grocery store, but surprisingly, there are a couple of varieties of peaches that grow well here in the desert in New Mexico. And my mom had a really good peach tree, and I actually had one at this house when I first moved in here. Unfortunately, it was on its last legs, and my landlord took it out a few years ago. But that's my favorite. Is really good, ripe, juicy peaches right off the tree.
I'm not sure I've ever actually had a peach off the tree.
Yeah. It's if it's a good one, it's a really, really good experience. You can't eat that when you're gaming though, because they're too juicy. So for gaming, I like grapes and pretzels and stuff like that.
Grapes are a good one. Those are so clean, and yet they have the juiciness.
Yeah.
That's a really good shout. Yeah, I'm not sure the internet is going to handle this.
Oh.
Flo says my favorite apple is a Lady Alice apple and are only available in the stores here in November. I buy £20.
Wow, really?
I'm going to just check. £20 in kilos. It's about 9 kilos.
That's interesting. Well, we have an heirloom variety of apple here in New Mexico called the wine sap. That is my favorite kind of apple. And you can just almost not find them anymore. Most of the heirloom trees have died in the last few years. We had a hard freeze in 2011 that lasted 3 days, and that's very unusual here. And we lost a lot of fruit trees and a lot of elderly trees. We lost some like 500-year-old trees in this area. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
To lose them, that's really sad.
Yeah. So, but I'm gonna have to see what the Lady Alice is. I've never heard of that.
By the way, just to let you know, there is going to be an echo because I missed the headphones that I normally plug into here to just stop the audio coming out. Is it too bad?
It's not bothering me.
Okay. Hopefully it will not bother other people, and we will kind of carry on in our...
You sound like a rock star. With just that little bit of echo, you know. You always want when you're like doing a big concert, you always want just a tiny little bit of echo. So yeah.
And says, "Oh no."
Yeah, I think that was about the old trees that died.
Yeah, that's it.
Hey!
Whoops. There we go. Sorry about that, everyone. Okay.
Oh, hey, looky there. That's not the worst. That's gonna work. If it doesn't fall over, right? If it doesn't come down and hit Bez in the head.
It's all working. It's all coming up Millhouse. I never realized until just earlier this year, that some people just say, "Oh, it's coming up," and then use their own name. Like that's an actual thing that Americans do.
Is it? Is it? Okay.
No. Wait, is it not? I heard someone else doing it on another show or something. They said, "Oh, it's all coming up, Sean," because they were called Sean or something like that. And I thought, "Oh, is it just an American thing to say, oh, it's all coming up, Sarah?" To say, "Oh, it's all going really well for Sarah," or "Hey, it's all coming up, Bez."
Yeah, I think I've heard that, but I don't think it's. I think it's more of a. I think it's more of a TV trope than a like actual American thing, but maybe in other places. Maybe in other places.
I mean, I'd never heard it. The only time I'd ever heard anyone say anything like that, "It's all coming up, blah," is in one episode of The Simpsons. And then the second time I'd ever heard it in my life was earlier this year by another American.
Oh, how funny.
It was an American thing. But
I live in New Mexico. We're nominally American here.
You're American.
We are, but like we're at the end of everything. Like all the trends come here last, and we are sort of like out of stuff most of the time. Like we're this little blue island in the middle of red. Like we're an odd little duck down here. Oh, that was a loud enough noise. I heard it.
It just sounds like something's going on. It wasn't from this side of the wall. Oh.
Yeah, it sounded like it happened. As long as it doesn't beat you in the head, we're good.
It was just a bit windy. We are all good here. We are all good. Okay. So, what's going on is L deck. There we go.
So this is going to be one of the little games for your contest, right?
Yes. So what I thought was that we could maybe go through one of the contest games and sort of play a solo game as a two-player game if you're up for it. If that sounds okay?
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
Great. So we have managed to play through most of these games. I think there's literally three things that's there's two things that have not played. Solitaire, which is solitaire and used. No, actually, there's only one game that I've not played. So there's sole variants of other games that I want to play that I've not played yet. But this is literally the last game from the ELL deck contest.
Oh, cool.
So just loading up the rules again to double check. And this is going to be sort of like a version of Solitaire.
Okay.
And we will working together.
Okay.
And
getting my little notebook ready just in case I need to like have my own stuff. But
you need to
we can work together.
The alphabet. As long as the alphabet, you're all good. So we've got 30 cards in the middle. 4. I'll put the 5th one diagonally just so that it's, or sideways, just to make it more obvious how many cards are in each pile. 1. We're going to be putting these. Have you played solitaire games for traditional playing card decks?
Yes, quite a lot.
So you know the traditional system where you're putting cards of ascending numbers and then are going up, and you're building a massive run essentially, and you want eventually all your cards to be part of these few massive runs, right? This is very similar to that, it seems, but using the alphabet.
Okay.
Got 30 cards. Let me check that how the camera is. Oh, let me. Sorry about this, everyone. Getting the RWTD is here, and
then do we have some empty spaces to build on, or?
so these are the foundations essentially.
Okay.
I see EM. Yep, I am going to have to lift this up a wee bit.
Okay.
You can still read all the letters, right?
Yes.
And these are your hand points. On your turn, you can do one of three things. You can either build, you can take one of these cards, or the top card of the draw pile. The top card is always face up, and you can put it onto one of the foundations. If you want to do that, then it has to be consecutive. So it would have to go CD, or it could go IJ on here. Here it could go F or N. Here it could go B or H.
Okay.
And
I'm assuming the consecutive letter needs to be in the same location as the letter you're building on the card.
No, it doesn't. Because there's definite. No, because like N would always be on the top, so that just wouldn't work if it's always had to be on the same location.
Oh, okay.
So then you're scoring points, which is you're trying to get more points are good, by the way.
Okay.
If the number, so this is I don't know if you can see the numbers. I don't think the numbers are so visible here.
I
can you see?
Can barely see. That looks like a 4. Oh yeah, I see. 4, 3. There's a 3. There's a 4. There's a 5. Oh yeah, there's a little like background all over the card, right?
Yeah. So look at the number on the bottom. The number on the top doesn't matter.
Okay. Oh, they're different. Oh, okay. All right.
If it's exactly the same number, then you score a point. If it's one more and one less, you score a point. If it's two more or two less or more different, then you don't score anything. So it has to be the same or one difference, and you score a point.
Okay.
So that is one of the three actions, and that's called build. The next possibility is draw, which means that you take this, and it says the hand pile on. Oh, so you're going to just draw the next card, and if you ever use the L here, then you could use the one below it also. But you are kind of your options potentially, if you know what I mean.
So unlike yeah. So it's like regular solitaire.
The final thing you can do is you can remove, which means you remove one of the cards from the tableau, which is this bit from the game. And so to do that, first you need to pay 5 points, which is from your points pile, and remove them. And yeah, I think that's it.
All right.
So yeah, let me just double check. Okay, so you've got you're basically trying to build these things here.
All right.
Okay. I messed up one important rule. I messed up one really important rule.
Okay.
You are also allowed to put things from the tableau can also go here. Things from the hand can go here. And so getting rid of stuff from the tableau is kind of like, okay, I can't use this, I'll just get rid of it. And if there's no cards in the tableau, that's the end of the game.
Okay.
And yeah, it's the number of cards in your score pile that you win.
All right.
Okay. So I thought that we could just cooperate and chat about what we want to do.
Okay.
I
Um,
see the
so we
CD.
could play, yeah, we could play that, and that's 1 point more, right? So we'd get a point for that.
Yes, we would. And
Right. I've got a little page here started.
and to score a point, you just take the previous card and put it into a face. Shall we do that? So
Yeah, I think so.
CD, and then we flip this face up.
Okay. All right.
So we can always flip this one. I'm not sure if that's a good option or not. Again, I can only see one option. MN.
Yeah,
I don't know
and
if you
it's
can
a
see anything.
non-point option, right? Because we're only looking at the numbers at the bottom. Oh no, did I lose you? Did you lose me?
Hello?
Hello. Can you hear me? Oh no, Bez. I can see your hand moving. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Ah. Oh.
I can hear you.
Flo can hear
Can
me.
you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And see you moving, which is nice.
Sorry, everyone, for all these technical issues. It's just the way it goes. So,
all right.
MN?
So what I was saying, and I don't know if you responded, is we could play the in on the M, but then it wouldn't be a point, correct? Because the numbers at the bottom are too different. But it would also help us move through cards.
Should we flip over the next one?
I mean, it feels like there's no penalty for doing that, so sure.
Well, it's kind of like a timer.
Oh, I see.
Because once you get to the end, it's not like one of those games where you can just flip it over and
I
do
gotcha. I gotcha. Okay.
Also, so I flipped it, and it's an RL. That's unfortunate. Because also, if we put down the NZ, it's not as if we can put down an O because we don't have one just now. I was thinking that if we got H, how nice would that be? And H is actually quite common, and then we could.
We've got an I.
Oh my gosh, TU.
Oh
no, but TU doesn't follow it either.
Yeah, that's not going to be points.
And James, I see that you said I've got no audio. I assume that was just very briefly during the kinds of technical hurdles.
Yeah, I can hear you now, so I'm hopeful that people on the stream can as well.
Okay. Thanks for confirming, James. I guess it's also worth thinking about where you can go afterwards, because the I, you can only put a J or a K. And I'm actually realizing that with certain cards, you're never going to have a choice. Like if you put the F here, F is always going to be a number 2. But the N, because N is on the top, the N will be different numbers. So theoretically, it might be worth not putting an N here because there's a possibility of something. Whereas an E, you might be able to get an E with a 4 or a 5. I mean, I wish.
And see, I don't know the numbers well. I don't know the numbers well enough to like understand how that's going to impact the game.
Well, I'll let you pilot this one. So what do you think? Do you want to flip one, or do you want to place an N or a U?
Oh, let's flip one more, fingers crossed, and see what happens. See if we get something that we can at least
E.
Okay. All right. So if it's equal, do we get a point, or only if it's one more? Oh, we do? Okay, let's do it then.
Boom.
So that gives us another point. Okay.
So we don't have an M because we can't put these on top of each other, but Q. So yeah, this can only go on a Q or a K. And Q there's only one of, and K there's only one of.
Oh. Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
So RL is actually going to be a really hard one to place.
Okay. Well, then do we need to just take the hit and play that NZ? Or you want to turn another one? How many are in our pile? If you've got 30 out and 3 in the
There's six of each of the top letters, so there's 6 AEINORST.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, how many cards are in our draw pile? How many cards are left in the draw pile?
2,
if that's our timer.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 12.
Okay.
We started with 15. And also it's worth noting that we don't lose when this runs out. We just lose when we can't take an action.
Okay. All right. Well,
Throw another one?
Yeah, I guess let's pull another one.
TC. Ooh, that doesn't help us at all.
So now I guess we don't really have much of a choice, do we? We've got to play the N on the M, right? That's the only.
I mean, it seems like we are running out.
I mean, we could draw another card, but do we want to do that?
Keep flipping, but then.
But if we play that, I mean, I know we won't get a point for it, but if we play it, then we'll at least have something new. I don't know. Like, how do you make those decisions?
There are only 6 1s and 6 2s, so the 1s and 2s are kind of statistically worse. You're less likely to get points for them. Whereas 3, 4, 5, I guess you're more likely to keep getting points for those.
Okay.
Yeah, what do you want to do? Are you thinking putting the NZ down?
I mean, if I were playing it solitaire at this point, I'm kind of risk averse. And so I would probably do that just to make a little more like room and see what else comes up.
Okay, it's done. RD.
That didn't help us.
That doesn't help.
It would help if you could go forwards or backwards in the alphabet, but that's not how that's not the rule. So
Yeah, I would reach out to the designer and check actually let me bring sorry about this. Solitel. I'm just currently testing solid. That's how it's spelled. Okay. So yeah, I just thought I'd get that banner up. Yeah, I would double check with the design. It's not 100% clear to me whether it is meant to only go forwards, but that is what I assumed because the example going forwards.
Yeah. Yeah, so maybe putting the That last card out there wasn't, because you can't go past the Z. So you can only play an an O on that card. We can only play a card with an O on that card. Yep.
There are 6 O's, so it's not too unlikely.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't think we have a choice. Yeah, I think we've got to draw. Oh, okay.
Oh no. And we need an O to place this on.
Uh-huh.
Because if A's can't go onto Z, then this can only go onto an O. Which would be nice if we got an O as the next card. How nice would that be?
Yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice. Fingers crossed. Feel like it's not super.
E. Yeah. There is. I can see the reason for the spending 5 of your points to get rid of one of these cards. Certainly, with this mix-up, it seems like we've gotten ourselves into a situation where we are. The only thing we can do is keep flipping.
It's a draw.
Are we agreed?
Yeah.
TM. Ooh.
Well, we can play that. Yeah, and get a point for it. All right. And then we can play Q and get a point for it. All right.
And we flip over another card.
All right.
Boom.
H. Oh, excellent. It's
we
not
don't get points, but should we go?
But I think so. Don't you?
Let's do it.
Okay.
E, P, no. I think that might be the end of our block.
UVW. Okay. I know my alphabet.
Cards. Oh no, we don't.
Oh, 4. Okay. Yeah, we have only got 4.
So I'm flipping because I think that's the only thing we can do. Yes. Unfortunate.
All right. We're flipping.
N or F. Still nothing to do.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, playing it does feel like maybe I am just making it too hard for ourselves. Maybe it was meant to go forwards and backwards.
Well, but James, also if it's solitaire, like I feel like you would play it more quickly if you were just by yourself.
Yeah, for sure. To James, no, I can't keep everything like constantly updated. You know, it is printed and then it stays for a couple of years until I sell it out. But the rules in the second edition are there's rules for 6 games. But going forwards, I plan for each deck to have like rules for 1 game in there, and then for there to be all the games on the website. So I do imagine the website being really the repository of where people would go to play the other games.
Okay.
Am I right in thinking there's nothing we can do by the rules we've stated?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Elmo, PQR, AB, still nothing. I'm just going to flip. So there's no D, there's no V. A, L, there's no L.
No. Oh, I wish we could play an A on the Z. It's fine.
Oops, that was 2 cards. L, there's again no L, and no P, Q, there's no Qs. E, there's no X, there's no D.
Here we go.
And there's no V.
Oh, we've lost horribly. There's no more. We got 4 points. Woo!
So I think this counts as a loss, regardless of how many points you got, because you have to get rid of those for it to be a win at all. And then if you win, then you count how many points you have left.
I mean, that's challenging.
Yes, I completely messed up. You can go forwards and backwards.
Oh, all right.
So that was entirely on me. And so,
said, go again. We will.
And James also said, okay, that makes sense. Thanks. Some of these games look fun, and I think it would be great to have the best of the best to play. Yeah, I like to think that you will be able to check them all out on Board Game Geek or whatever. And this year, part of the reason why I'm keeping it all anonymous, like, I can see on my well, I can't. Oh yes, I can now see on my other screen. Now I'm looking at the correct place. And when I see my other screen, I mean my other window, because there's two kind of windows open on the one monitor. I don't have multiple monitors, sadly. But I can see on the other thing who invented this, but I want to keep it anonymous so that ideally, once we get through the initial judging and once I'm like, okay, this is actually how these games are played, just to check with the designer that I'm not messing things up completely, then I can rewrite the rules and send them all out, and maybe the top 5-ish. When I say the top 5-ish, it might be as many as like 10 this year, because there have been a lot of really good things, but then I'll be able to kind of ask other people, hey, would you like to join in the judging? And so I figured that would be quite a nice thing, because also then you'd be able to be judged by your peers. But
so in not having an L deck, is there a way that I can get one? Like, do you have a print and play available?
Yes, 100%.
Somewhere?
So if you go to stuffbybez.bigcartel.com.
So there was a little bit of a bang in the middle of that. Stuff by Bez, what?
.bigcartel. Let me get actually the thing up quickly. Oh wait, even better. Let me see if I can put all the links into the comments. Is that? No, it's not listed as
no
parts of them. See, I'm not very good at selling my stuff. I don't have my shop in there. So,
oh,
there we go. It's the second link there.
Okay.
2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. Are we ready for round 2?
Yes.
Letters, right?
Yes. Oh, no, it just went away.
Oh.
Can you see it on the screen? I'm getting a black screen with a
went wrong.
twirly.
Internet. Internet.
It is the bane of our existence, and yet
the thing we need to communicate, and it brings us so much joy.
Yeah.
And it's because we are reliant upon it. It's almost like, sorry, this sounds, I don't want to trivialize starvation, because like I was going to compare it. I don't know if this is a terrible thing to do. Tell me if it is. I was going to say, like, it's become such a big part of what we consider our needs, kind of like in the same way that we love food, But then, if we don't have food, it's like, oh my gosh, I don't have food. It's like a big problem.
Yeah.
And in the same way, it's kind of like, anything that brings us so much joy. Of course, like food is a greater need. It's like far lower on the hierarchy of needs, on the Markov's. You know the one I mean.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
and now that you've said that, I can't think what it is. yes, I do know that. But I mean, and even more than just bringing us joy, we've become very reliant on it for a huge amount, and not just because of the pandemic. I feel like the pandemic has really highlighted it more because we've needed it more for accessibility. But I also feel like we have become very reliant on it for so much of just what we do in our lives on a regular basis.
it seems to have frozen again.
Oh.
I mean, for me,
Oh,
it's...
wait, I can see cards. I can see them moving. I can see your hand.
I will move these all up like that. Okay.
All right. So we can go forward or back.
Wow, so this really opens things up. So we can go to TU, we can go KL, we can go... That's all I can see.
That's all I can see, and neither of those are points. Oh, and now we lost it again. Rats.
I would be tempted to use the K just because K is only going to be beside... E is always going to be beside D, or actually F would have a 2 on it, but I was thinking D, but then there's only 2 Fs in the deck. Basically, it feels like the ones with a 1, you kind of need to play them in a awkward... Oh...
Bez, have we lost you again? The internet is not our friend today. And I haven't had enough coffee to turn that into an actual song, or I would. Live again.
Okay, and this seems to be popping in. Oh my gosh. What was happening while I was away? Did I miss anything?
I was attempting to make up a song on the fly
and then
decided not to. Again. I decided not to. So we have 2. I have 2 Bezes in my stream now. Okay, now it's just 1.
Today is really not going well for...
Today is bad internet day. I mean, what are we gonna do? I guess we can talk about the game to the extent that we got to play it.
Ooh. I've got... Let's see, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. Yes, I don't know if it's because I'm in the garden or what, but it feels... Yeah, actually my...
Is that banging all on your side?
Yeah, the banging is just London. You can't get away from banging somewhere. There's going to be cars going along. I can hear a motorcycle over there. I can hear wind rustling through the leaves. That's quite nice.
Yeah, that part.
But I can also hear more cars on that side.
All right, all right. So you're saying you think we should play that K because the K is going to be problematic to get rid of. Is that right? I can see your hand moving, but I can't hear you. All right. So what's funny is the video of you is frozen on my side and I can't hear you, but I can still see movement in the phone video. Oh goodness. Oh yes, the apple is a perfect paperweight for today in your little breezy garden. All right, let's see. You. And if you can hear me, the only letter I can't see is the top of the pile. Yes, that's the one. If you could just pull that down. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. So we could play the AP, but we wouldn't get a point. Do you want to draw? Do you want to draw? You're drumming your little fingers. I guess it's going to be me talking and Bez's fingers drumming on the cards. Oh gosh. All right, all right. It looks like you want to draw, so let's draw. EL. Ah, that's not the worst, except that. I mean, L. Are L's always 5? So to play an L on a K is always going to be a loss of a point. Okay, okay. I mean, we could play the IL on that K if you wanted to as well to move through that deck. I mean, either way, playing an L is going to, either way, playing an L is going to lose a point there on that K. James or Flo, do you have any suggestions? All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Ooh, I see. Ooh, ooh, see. Yes, yes, yes. That's worth a point. Is that our first point? Okay. All right. Yay!
You can hear me again.
And see you moving other than your fan. I mean, that was that was working kind of well. It was funny though. All right, so
basically,
let's see what
the funny thing is that my phone is not on Wi-Fi. My phone is on the mobile data, and so basically anything that's going on here is mobile data. My voice.
So the internet is the problem because you've frozen again, but you're still moving on. Yep. Ooh, yeah. Either one, both. I mean, the top one it matches both, but we don't get both of the points. But yeah, yeah. I'm okay with that. Unless the S will be. I feel like the S and C will be easier to match, don't you think? Maybe we should play it on that IC. Huh. See? Yeah. Those are points too. Play it on the L, don't you think? Yeah. This one's going better. S and X. So we could play the EL on the TM. That'll give us a point. N U U T. But that won't. That's not a point. That's X. Hmm. Are we ready to, do you want to play that? That won't be a point, or do you want to draw? Why don't we draw? Let's draw. We're doing okay. We're doing better than we were last time.
Hey, my internet's back.
Yay.
Okay.
What do you want? Do you want to play that in you, or do you want to draw? I mean, that one's not going to be worth a point there.
M's always have a 4, so this could go on to an M theoretically.
All right, let's draw. Let's draw and see what we get.
So X is always going to be hard to play, potentially. I don't know. I'll go with your guts. Ooh.
Yeah. Perfect. And then we can lay the in, because that's going to give us a point. All right. And then that gives us some options. Okay. That top card has bumped up again. What is on top of that C on that top card up there? SC. Okay. SC. Oh, that SX is going to be tough, isn't it? Because of the X only being worth 1 point.
Hey, I'm back. Internet. That was me shaking my fist to the camera.
Oh, good.
Okay, so, I'm thinking that if we get an R, and I don't think we've seen any R's, then we can go Q and then P.
So do we want to play that S?
Shall we flip?
That SX? Yeah, let's flip.
Or do you want to use the S?
Well, I mean, we'll have to have, but we can put that. Yeah, no, let's flip. Let's see what we get.
Say that again.
I think we should flip. There's a huge lag now.
Ooh.
Yeah, there was like a great big lag there for a while. Like I could hear myself repeating like almost 30 seconds after I said something. Yeah, there was like a great big lag there for a while. Like I could hear myself repeating like almost 30 seconds after I said something.
We could... I think it might be worth getting rid of this SX.
I agree.
Should we do it?
Yes.
Oh.
The lag is still big. Yes.
D.
Oh! I just lost the
I
just lost the card feed again.
Oh no, the top cam went away. Yeah,
Can you hear me in real time again?
I can hear you.
Okay. Because there was quite a long lag for a while.
I'm definitely even playing it cooperatively, and I think playing solo games 2-player is actually a really interesting way to test them, because you get to kind of think about your thought processes out loud. Internet. What are we to do with you?
It might be our downfall today.
See, this is one of the reasons, true story, why I don't like using Google Documents for everything. Because if you're using Google Documents for everything, then the internet needs to be working for it to work.
Right, right.
Whereas if you've got it as a normal document and you can work on it.
No, we keep losing Bez. Oh, the internet. Like I feel like this is fodder for some sort of like Broadway spoof. The internet and the streamer can be friends. I don't know. Oh goodness. We might have to pack it in today if Bez can't make it work. Okay.
Hello?
Got stuff. Hello.
Okay. Yeah, I can sort of hear.
Did you just take a picture? Oh no, he's frozen again. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Oh no, that's a tiny wee. That's not quite the way I wanted it to be. Should we pack it in? Because I feel like we were both enjoying it, and I would like to finish the game. But do you want to talk about what you thought of what were your first impressions?
And especially once we like understood the rules, it did have a very strong kind of solitaire feel to it. Oh, there you go. Okay, good. I haven't lost you again this time. I like solitaire. I play a lot of solitaire games. And so to have one that's letter based, I really like that concept a lot. Yeah, I think it would be fun. I would definitely play it again. And of course, the more I played, the more I would get familiar with your ELL deck and the numbering system and be able to like think it through the way you do, where you know it so well. That you can say,
I know
there's
it
these
better
numbers
than anyone else in the
up.
world, literally.
Right.
Because I made it.
Yeah. But as somebody like learning and exploring the ELL deck system, I could see this being a fun way to do that, just sitting around playing cards. I play solo games all the time, so I'm always looking for something solo to just pass the time. So I liked it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, do it. Yes, there are lots of options coming up there. Once you can play forward and backward, I feel like that also it just amped up how fun that was, like, and thinking through that, here's a point coming up and here's these cards are not going to give you points. I actually think the scoring system is kind of interesting.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, I'm talking through my phone. So
okay, good.
Theoretically, I think my phone is working okay. So if we want to rush through the end of this,
Sure. Yeah. Do you want to go ahead and play those as you? I mean, those aren't going to be worth points, though, right? That's a 5
That's
on
not
a 3.
a point. But then
and then the
P
P
should
is
really
not
go
going to be a
here.
point. Yeah, I agree. But that's not going to be a point either.
But
and then we
the
can play
Q,
that
then we get rid
Q.
of the
Yeah.
Q.
And that will be a point. So yeah.
Exactly.
That's excellent. And now we can, when we turn an R, we'll be able
And now
to play
potentially
something.
the C could go B and then C again.
That's true. And
Or
that'll be
indeed,
points.
it could go T and then S.
Yeah.
So then the question is, do we want to finish off with a B or a C? And I'm not sure it makes any difference unless we had cards counted and remembered how many of each thing there were remaining.
And I don't know how many U's total are in the deck.
Oh, actually,
but
there's
are there
more R's than U's.
Yeah. So let's play the T and then the S. So and that's going to give us points both times as well.
That gives a point.
Yeah. Nice. And there's an R. So do we want to play the R? Well, if we play it on the SB, we'll get a point versus if we play it on that IQ, which I feel like is just going to kind of be stuck there for a while.
Yeah, we might.
But we want to get points.
I don't think we need to cover this. We just need to get rid of these cards.
Right. But is it better to get points when we can? Yeah.
I think we want to get points if we can.
Yeah. So I'm for it. I'm for that. Yeah.
Whoops.
Okay.
Oh, RS again?
Yes. Okay, and that's another point, so that's good. And that leaves a D, which is nice. OU.
HI doesn't give a point. And the only thing that's ever going to give a point here is... Oh, I guess a P would give a point, but there's only 2 of them. But a P would give a point because there's 2, or if we get a J, that would give a point, which we've not seen, or if we get an R with a 1 on the bottom.
Okay, all right. Well, let's maybe leave that there for now then. I don't know. Let's see. What's the top? The very top letter on our S, SD. Okay, yeah. Let's draw.
Boom.
What we get.
Oh, that's...
Yeah,
that's an E, which is nice, but it's a 3, which is less nice.
Yeah. WX, nope, that's also not a point. But okay, how hard is it going to be though to play something on that SX? And does it matter? Maybe it doesn't.
I think it is a hard one because...
So if we played the EW down there, it might open us up to some more possibilities, right? Because that's a 3.
We could put then down the D, and then it kind of diversifies things. And if we put down the N, we could put down the O, and that's a point at least.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Okay. All right.
Shall we do that?
Yeah.
And
so we do that.
ED. And that flips over. There are only 2 over here, so we need to focus on these 2. So then O, and that gives us a point.
Okay, good.
Flips over. And O, RS.
Oh, Yeah, I'm
Either
okay
of these
with that.
could go here, but I think we definitely want to use this one because this pile's got a lot in it.
I agree. Cool. And that's a point. Excellent. AL.
By the way, because I can't access it with my laptop just now. Oh, wait a minute. It's offering me to try again. The internet does seem to be potentially better. Oh, exciting. I'm going to... Hello again.
Hello again.
Oh, amazing. Did I miss any comments from anyone?
No, I haven't seen any. Just stretching time that we missed.
Oh, yes.
We were doing other things. Okay, let's see. So we could play one of those H's, of course, on it. The IQ is not going to give us any points. Sure. Yeah, sure. Let's wait. Can we look at what's under the cards in the pile? Is that allowed? In our draw pile, can we look at the cards that we've already seen before? Hello, Selena. I hope that's how you say your name. That's really pretty.
Hello again. Sorry about all of the internet problems. Yeah, I was saying that I don't think you can.
Okay. Because I didn't know. So yes, we have had more comments. Selena has joined us.
I'm going to use this camera that I'm pointing to up here for my voice because the big one just is not working.
And that's been, I mean, and when you've been doing that, like we haven't had any echo or anything with that. So yeah, that's fine. So I'm wondering if it's worthwhile to get rid of, oh yeah, we could get rid of both that. Yeah.
Because once we do that, it's not, I mean, I'm assuming we can look at this for sure because that's going to, I guess we could do that and then do the H. But it really feels like we want to get rid of the things in this pile.
Right.
Should we go with what you've said, though?
Yeah. If we do that, then that gives us a point, right? Because it's a 5 on a 5. Excellent. And then do we want to draw in the hopes of getting an M?
Draw. Let's draw. B.
Or B. That didn't help.
Oh, if we do QR, then we can do BA.
Oh, yeah. And then that would be worth a point. Okay, I'm for it.
So that's QR, and then that's BA, and that gives us a point.
And that helps us get,
Oh. The P that we needed
for the Q. Yep, the P we needed for the Q. It's fine. So we could play the E on the D, but then we don't get a point. P, R.
At this point, should we just try to win regardless of number of points?
Yeah, I think we should.
We can go D, E.
Oh, all right. So, I mean, we can play that on that H.
I mean, we won't get a point for it, but HI is a valid thing, of course.
Yeah, and then we're stuck with that Y there, but we could play that RH back on top of it.
Well, we could take that IY and then put the RH on top of the IY.
Yeah.
Should we do that?
I mean, that's going to move us through those cards. So, see what we turn.
Ooh.
PH.
Multiple options.
Yeah.
If we take this one, then we could go with the U.
Okay.
Should we do it?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's still turn and see what we got. Let me see. Okay. Yeah.
TU.
Okay.
This isn't a very good card.
I think we're gonna have to turn.
I think there's nothing possible.
Oh. I mean, we could play the O on the P. The OC we could play on the EP,
yes, so we could.
right?
I mean, do we want to flip? Because there's no advantage to having these left in our deck, which feels a bit weird. And that would be my note, that I feel like these should be automatically points because you've not used them.
Oh, I think that's a great idea.
But
yeah, let's flip one.
You mean them automatically being points, or you mean flipping over right now?
Both. Both of those things are good ideas. Let's see what we get.
So, IJ, that doesn't do anything, so flip again. NO.
Okay, okay. Yeah. Because then we can play, I mean, either way, we're talking about not getting points, but being able to move a card. So we could play that in on that O, and then play the O back on the in out of the top, even though it's not points, just to move it.
Just going to count how many cards we need. There's 2 under here, 1 under here, and 3 under here.
Okay.
So do you want to do NO?
Yeah, because we might still have a B coming up that we could play in there, maybe.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That gives us a point.
Yay! And it's a point. Excellent. Perfect.
Also OP. Q. Cool.
Okay.
And
G. Do we want to play that G on that F?
Oh, yes.
We might as well. It's worth a point, and then we finish that row. Okay. All right. So here's a question. Here's a question now. This is like, if this was real solitaire, we'd be able to move one of those other cards off into that blank space. Can we do that in this game?
No, we can't move anything onto here. There's no rules for that.
All right. Okay. All right. So do we want to play the H on the G, that RH card?
Actually, so...
Or do you want to flip?
We still have 6 cards here. And it feels worth flipping some over just to...
Okay. Let's see what we get.
L.
LM. Do it.
And yep, I can see the RS and GH bots. I'm flipping again.
Okay.
Oh, BC.
Okay, yes.
And
that's
I'm going to
point.
do that because that's just a point.
And then do we want to put the J on the I?
Given that there's 3 things behind here.
Yes.
Do you put this? Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I think we have to. I think we have to get to move through those cards if we can. SH. Oh, we can play the H on the G. We can play that SH on that SG. It's not a point, but it moves.
And then it's not a point, but then the RS, RH would be a point.
Yeah.
So,
oh, wait. Don't play that yet, because we can play the T on the S, and then we can play the H on the G and move 2 cards instead of just 1.
No, but we could do that anyway.
That's true.
Wouldn't get any points. Whereas if we put down the R first, we'll get a point.
I'm sorry.
This way.
Thought that was a 5. I thought those were both. Okay, I see. I was seeing the number underneath.
So there's 2 cards remaining.
Okay. All right. Okay. Hey, look here. If you play the T, if you play that G on the H, then you can play the U down here.
Then we
on
will
the
have
T.
all the open information.
Let's see what we get
so
there.
That goes there, and we flip this over. Ooh.
So then we can play the U,
quite nicely,
E, W. Yes.
So
and then
we
play
do
the
have the
V.
VW, but since the current rules don't give us these as automatic points,
Oh,
we
do we
might
want
as
to
well
try to
flip
get
these
some more
over to see.
points? Okay.
That doesn't do anything extra.
Right.
Y doesn't give us anything extra, neither does E right now.
No.
RM, no, I don't think that does anything.
Mm-mm.
And NF, oh no.
Nope. Oh, too bad.
I mean, it could go here just for the sake of it,
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
Sure.
And then, yeah, nothing's going to come of any of these things. I could put the M here, but then nothing can happen with any of these cards anyway.
Yeah.
So the V goes here, the W goes here, and we win.
Yay! How many points did we get?
1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, and 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 21.
All right.
And according to the rule chart, we are right in the middle. So there was... Wow. We are not on a flight path. I don't understand why there was literally... I was expecting to see a weird helicopter, but that was actually a plane.
I could hear it.
But yeah, 21 puts us in delightful. So yeah, I'll see if I can get on the screen again. But whilst I'm experiencing all my internet issues, what do you think of the game?
I like it. I would play it again. I do feel like there are some things like I mentioned of in a regular solitaire game, once you clear a path, you can move a card to like move things forward more quickly. I like your idea of if you keep cards in your draw pile, that they're worth something at the end because you have not used that in that way. So I feel like there are some little tweaks that it could use, but in general, if I had an L deck, this is a game I would play.
Awesome. Yeah, I feel like it's something that I would be interested to try again to see can I actually get the 31 points, which is apparently excellent.
Oh,
So, I mean, it shouldn't be too surprising that when we played by the correct rules, they were much better. And
yeah.
I mean, like I did, even if I hadn't read the tiny example that clarified everything at the end of the rules, I would have probably thought, okay, but it felt open enough. It felt like there were enough choices. It felt interesting. Would be, as you said, it's actually a really nice way to get to know the deck, because I found myself thinking about qualities of the deck that I haven't thought about before, which is really nice.
Good.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Your stretching time says jiggle and wriggle, so that's what I'm doing.
Hey, so I can't change the thing from here. But
that's all right. You could be a big head and I'll be a little head. It's fine. Oh, or I can just be me. It's just me again. Hello, everybody. It's the Bez Show by Sarah. Oh, thanks for sticking with us, Selena. We have had so many internet Problemos. Uh, it has been frustrating. So anyone who's still here, of course, I can't put your comments up on the screen, but anyone who has stuck with us through all of that horror show of internet problems, what did you think of the game? Are there people here who are like, oh, I want to go home and grab my L deck and play that game? So is this on your computer or are you on your phone now? Which one are you using?
This is on my phone again.
Okay. I feel like that's the most...
I think I have to use my computer to finish the broadcast. But it does seem that my phone's mobile data is more reliable. I just tried to change the thing on my phone, but it didn't quite work.
Okay.
So I'm going to leave it as it is currently. And oh my gosh, it's just been, yeah.
Well, what's funny is I feel like we never stopped streaming, but you just like, for some reason, kept like dropping in and out.
Oh yeah, with StreamYard, that's the thing. Like, even if your local internet connection goes down because it's done on a remote server, it'll just keep going forever. So theoretically, like, if I just stopped it, now there would be like an infinitely long stream.
Oh, that could be bad. Okay.
And so, yeah. I mean, it wouldn't be a very interesting stream. It might literally just be a black screen with, I guess, my links would keep scrolling past, but...
I gotcha.
Okay, I would like, if possible, you to give a vague vote out of 7.
Okay.
Normally what I do is I try to talk about accessibility, differentiation from the other games, how well it uses the ELL deck, and also just generally how much fun it was. I think that in terms of accessibility, I think for me it was medium. Like, you don't need any additional equipment other than the deck itself, which is good.
Right.
You do need to know the alphabet, both going backwards and forwards. There are, a few different rules to learn, but it's not too much. And yeah, you do need to get to know the ELL deck fairly well to be able to strategize. But I think that's totally something that you could just blunder through on your first game and not worry too much about it. And so as I'm talking, I'm actually going to shift my vote to medium-high. But what do you think in terms of generally accessibility?
I think generally it's pretty accessible. You've got to have an ELL deck, and like you say, you've got to know the alphabet and be able to, even if you don't know it backwards and forwards. I'm one of those weirdos who does, but I feel like that is a weird thing to know just because I'm obsessed with patterns. But I think even like okay, so here's an accessibility issue that I don't think about a lot because I don't have kids, but this would be an awesome game to play with kids. Like, even little kids could get into something like this where they're learning the alphabet, and this could be a way to play something with them that would help with that. And you could even, as a parent, like, drop the scoring system and make it a teaching thing. So I'd say at least medium high as well. Yeah, I think it's got pretty good accessibility.
So, in terms of differentiation from all the other ELL deck games, specifically the headline ELL deck games, I think it's incredibly different. The closest that you've got, the two games that come to my head are Puzzle, where you're making small 3-letter fragments, so it would go ABC, and then if it's an IC, for example, the next one could go IJK, and you're building little runs, but with this one going 1 letter at a time, being back and forth, and going off, some piles onto 3 other piles, and with the scoring system and the numbers, it feels fairly different. So I would give it a high.
Okay.
Although this is one where the differentiation, I don't expect other people to know all the headline games out there. So this is one where my word is kind of
law. Your word is law. I can only go, it's different than the other games I've played.
then the next
Oh.
thing is, how well did it use the deck? Because it doesn't use the suits, it doesn't use the patterns, but it does use the letters. It does make you think of the frequency. It does make me really think about, the way that things match up, and there are interesting wrinkles brought on by the way that the numbers are. So I would say, actually, when I read the rules, I thought this was going to be low, but having played it, I feel I'm really impressed. I'm going to say high.
Yeah. No, I thought it made good use of the deck, because and this is the reason you have the deck designed the way you do, right? With all of the different things going on, is to allow these games to use all or part of what each card provides. And so I think I liked it. I liked how it made use of that, and also limited us. Like, the constraints were really smart. The constraints of only comparing the bottom numbers, I really liked that. That just made it added that little extra challenge.
And then finally, in terms of general fun and enjoyment, you've already talked about this quite a bit. I like to say, not just fun, not just in terms of, is this going to make you laugh, but in terms of, is it a worthwhile thing? Is it intellectually stimulating? Is it worth playing, ultimately?
Yes. Yes, this is one I would play again. This is one I would, like, pull my ELL deck out if I had one and sit here at my desk and just play, because that's what I do with my little solo games. When I need a break, I just pull out one of my little solo games and I just go.
Gut reaction. How would you rate this out of 7? Do you have a number in mind?
I think I'd give it a 6.
Okay, I was going to go for 5.
5?
So,
and I'm always a little higher than you are, so yeah. I think that's consistent with how I rated the last game, so yeah. Because I think you gave it a 4 and I gave it a 5.
I think it's a really solid game. I mean, I could definitely see this being one of the top 5 kinds of things for the contest. I think it's really good, and I think for sure the designer should be really proud.
Yeah.
And then I like to finish off by saying, what changes would I like to explore? What tips would I have as a designer / developer? The only thing that comes to my head right now is that the draw pile, to my mind, really should have just been moved at the entire thing into the points pile, because at the end, having to get rid of, it felt a wee bit weird. That we're flipping it over, hoping for some score, and we already know we've won. It's a bit anticlimactic. The other thing I might say is 5 cards to get rid of 1 that are in the middle. That seems like quite a lot. I'm not sure if that's correct. I mean, I get that if it was too low, then it would be really easy to just win, but is that an issue? Because if you, let's say it was 3 cards to get rid of something in the middle, then you might get some strategic thinking about, okay, maybe it's actually worth paying the 3 cards to get rid of it because it's such a bad card. And you don't have to flip so many things in your draw pile. You are going to be potentially able to match more things for points. I don't know.
Yeah, it seems like it does seem like you're giving away a lot of points.
Because we never actually... Apart from those 2 things, I can't think of anything else I would even be on my radar to change at this point. I mean, I definitely want to play it a few more times before I kind of think about changes to make. But does anything come onto your radar to be, maybe down the line we change that, or maybe we experiment with this? You mentioned when you get rid of one of your packs, being able to put new things there.
Yeah, I mean, that is a pretty standard solitaire rule. And it does in some versions of solitaire it has to be like a king that you can put there, and in other versions you can just move any card off of a line into a blank
Mm.
space, depending on the rules of the solitaire game. So that, to me, I immediately went, "Oh, we're playing solitaire." Like I was into that. Surely we can use that space, and so then that might be a design decision. But if it is, I feel like it should be spelled out. It
Mm.
created another constraint, which isn't a bad thing. I think constraints are good.
Yeah, like it
But I
does
wanted to
mean
know.
that the way it's currently playing, you do kind of need to keep the three piles kind of equal. And
Hmm.
I guess if you could move things there, then it might lose that slightly, because then you wouldn't have to be thinking, oh, well, I could put either of these two cards. I'm going to do the one where I've got slightly more cards remaining face down. But
Hmm.
no, that's definitely something to think about. Maybe once you get rid of one of these, there's some bonus way that you can use that empty space. Maybe there's not. But there's a lot of possibility space for sure.
Hmm.
Now, Sarah, thank you so much. And I think
Yeah.
I have literally now played. There are some games that I'm actually going to put that. We gave it 11 between the two of us.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, I think it might just be because you're quite generous, but this is the highest scoring one out of all of them currently. Although I think that I, no, I think I've given 5 to something before, so yeah, it's my joint highest score to anything. But it doesn't mean that all the other games are bad or anything. But
No.
at this point, again, I want to thank everyone who's been part of this contest. I know that I'm not mentioning names, but I hope that everyone understands why that's happening, and I will be thanking everyone very publicly once I am able to, once they have gone through the judging process.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm sorry that my laptop isn't connecting, although I might be able to. Sarah, is there anything that you would like to give a shout out to right now?
Yes, yes, I would. I am going to be. Hello again. I am going to be. Oh, oh, there was a little echo. Um, Playtesting my big deck building, cooperative deck building game about water on. Um, let's see. I had actually looked it up. I had actually looked it up on Discord, so I could. Oh wait, no, I had actually gotten it on my. Uh, oh, where is it? Here it is. Protocon Online. Protocon Online, which is Saturday.
Ooh.
So can I put the little sign up link in the private chat, and maybe you can
Yes,
move it into. So
if
anyway,
you get to private chat up, then
yeah.
I will
So
put
I
it
put that in private chat. So it's just a little online con. It has been in person in the past. They have done it online a couple of times. I got invited to bring my game to playtest because I playtested it with one of the organizers of the con, Riley Stock, and got to do it and got
Fantastic.
to be on his podcast as well. So my game is called Diamonds for Water, but there are a bunch of other really cool games that are going to be there. Persuasion is going to be there, which I'm going to finally get to play, and some others. So I'm just really honored to be part of it.
Based on the question of, would you rather have diamonds or would you rather have water?
No, Diamonds for Water is my big deck builder where you're a group of water experts trying to save the planet before water runs out. So you go to different parts of the world and deal with water problems in different parts of the world. So, yeah.
I just meant that I thought that the title was based on the old thing of we value diamonds even though we don't really need them, but then we value.
Well, it's based on it's like an economic thought experiment or almost a joke of diamond. It's the water diamond paradox. Water being one of the only intrinsically valuable things on the planet, maybe literally the only intrinsically valuable thing on the planet, is very, very cheap. And diamonds, which are hugely plentiful, are super expensive because they are monopolized and controlled in such a way as to make it so. Which is funny because water is also monopolized and controlled, but in such a way as to make it cheap. So in my game, you have to build up to where you can purchase diamonds because diamonds are the only currency in my game that lets you buy water. So I've turned the joke on its head on purpose to make an economic point. Yeah.
I love it.
So yeah, so sign
fantastic.
up for the Protocon, and anybody who signs up can sign up to play a bunch of games. And I don't know what else is going on. I just know I'm going to have my game there. So I'm excited.
That is so wonderful. I love it. Speaking of environmental games, I am going to give a very quick shout out. I don't know if you're familiar with Earth Rising.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to drop their link here. And I love what they've done with this is something that I backed for the educator level. I don't need more games, is the sad truth. But yeah, I love the fact that they're actually trying to make everything zero impact or planting trees. If they get as social media goals, that's amazing. And it's so much to admire in that campaign, and I'm hoping to have a chat with Luke and Rhea at some point, and hopefully we won't have such terrible internet issues. Fingers crossed. But I should also give one last, in case people just weren't here at the start when I talked about a game about wee whimsical creatures and trying to identify them after someone makes noises. But for now, that is the end of the show.
Okay.
We had a good time. Yeah. We played a game called Solitel. Thank you, Sarah, for filling in time. Thank you for staying a bit longer than we normally do. Thank you for being lovely. Thank you for being wonderful. And in 2 weeks' time, I don't know what we will play. If you've got something of your own that you want to play test or whatever, we will do.
I might have something. So here's a question for you, and maybe I should ask this in the studio, but would you be interested in play testing just part of like a little story RPG, storytelling? Is that something you're interested in at all?
I'm up for a storytelling thing.
Okay, all right. Because the whole game takes about 3.5 hours.
Storytelling,
but we could play the first part of it just for fun and tell a little story to each other. So I'll see if I'm ready for it. But
we could do it over free streams.
That's true. We could do that. Yeah. It actually would lend itself very well to that.
I like this.
Okay.
Let's chat about it, but that sounds fantastic. I want to say thank you, everyone. Thank you, the ELL deck designers. Thank you, Sarah.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone watching. And for now, there's only one thing left to do. I don't think there's enough people to do a raid because it's just all the internet problems. But if you want, go over and find Duchess and find Runa or enjoy the outside world, whatever you're up to, have a lovely day, have a lovely afternoon. And the only thing left to do is to say bye, 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 bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. bye, 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 and now it's time to go. Bye, 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 bye. This is goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye bye, Flo. Bye bye, Selena. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks for watching.
Oh, sorry, I don't have that as a trigger. But lots of love to you as well.
No. Thank you, Bez.